we have to make sure that we discuss some more potential trade deadline targets for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And it's time for our favorite guy. It's Dick Mountain time.
Let's make a Dick Mountain out of a rich molehill.
Dick Mountain, Jesse. Veteran pitcher Rich Hill, a.k.a. Dick Mountain from the Pittsburgh Pirates, would bring a lot of things to this starting rotation that they don't currently have, including a left-handed pitcher and a veteran presence that they don't really have from any of their guys. I feel like Merrill Kelly is the most adult pitcher that they have there. But let's talk about Rich Hill and his season here with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, if we look at Rich Hill's stats, nothing that really jumps off the page, right? He has a 4.82 ERA, 1.47 WHIP, 114 innings. He's going right around 6 innings per start, a little under that, 7.7 Ks per 9, 3.5 walks per 9. He has a 4.42 FIP, which is just okay. But yeah, I mean, in addition to the nickname, which I know you guys are probably most excited about.
I'm a huge fan of Dick Mountain.
I figured you probably would be.
How could you not be?
Yeah, but you know, he actually does would bring some things to this Diamondback starting rotation. You know, is he an upgrade over Tommy Henry? Is he an upgrade over Ryan Nelson? I'm not sure. I think the numbers there are pretty similar. You could make a case that he's not. But you know, Brandon Pfaadt is still very much an unknown, even though he was better his last time out. He still has an ERA over 8 on the season. It is pretty likely, at least on paper, that Rich Hill would be a better option for that 5th starter spot the rest of the way than Brandon Pfaadt would be. And he also, if we look at the pros and cons, you know, one of the biggest advantages of potentially making this move is the cost. Rich Hill, theoretically, this man is 43 years old. He shouldn't cost much as a rental for.
I don't like the way you said that. I don't like the way you said that. I'm 42. I don't like that. That's in the con side, Jesse. How dare you, you ageist?
Yeah, but at the same time, Derek, you're not a professional athlete. You know, you being 42 is totally fine. If you're still pitching against major league hitters, your age is a little bit more consequential.
Fine.
So, no hard feelings there. But yeah, he is a lefty, which is something that I guess would benefit the Diamondbacks rotation. Kind of help balance things out a little bit. He obviously has loads of experience with as many years as he's pitched in the league. On the con side, as I mentioned, he is just a rental. You're only getting him for the rest of the season. And he hasn't been so great over his last 4 or 5 starts. So, you know, that I guess that could be a bit of a red flag. But the big thing here is, you know, if the Diamondbacks want to buy, if Mike Hazen wants to be able to, you know, turn around in a few days and tell his players, like, you know, I said I was going to buy and I did. Rich Hill is a guy that you could add. Theoretically, he's an improvement. And he shouldn't cost all that much. He really shouldn't. One would hope. Obviously, the market is set really high right now, but I think just especially given the way that he's performed recently, the price should be pretty low from the Pirates.
I think the most important thing here is that for Dick Mountain to be located in Scottsdale, Arizona, makes a lot of sense. And I have a feeling that might be one of the areas of town that he looks to live in when he's here. Also, yeah, I mean, is he worth it? I guess is the big question here.
Does Dick get you excited?
Does Dick make you excited? And is a Dick Mountain enough to get the Diamondbacks over the hump, if you will?
I knew I was going to regret talking about Rich Hill on this show.
You knew it. You left us here in the studio by ourselves, Jesse. We've been making Dick Mountain jokes all night long.
Leah was going to be able to control us.
Yeah, I thought Leah would be like the adult in the room.
She loves it.
She doesn't wield enough power. Maybe she's giggling along.
No,
with
it's
you,
hilarious.
So.
As Cog said, if you bring us Dick, we will never shut up.
No.
Yeah.
What's Summer Walker said it. I just need some dick.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I just need some loving.
It's cheap. It's cheap dick, right? Like that's the biggest thing. It's the cheapest dick you can find.
The best kind of dick.
But does the dick make you better, Jesse? I mean, does Rich Hill?
Okay. I will say this: like, This seems like the kind of Dick that would be really fun for like a couple of days, and then we would realize that it sucks, and we don't want that Dick.
Bro,
we don't want it anymore. Like, but let's be real.
It
Like,
sucks. What?
like I think if you were to
Jesse
trade,
hates his
yeah, I
life
know.
so
I think
much.
if you, he's so happy.
Should we remove Jesse from the broadcast while we do this portion?
No, but like,
I don't know.
real talk. Like I think it's Rich Hill, right? Like it is Dick Mountain. I think if he were to get traded here, like the fan base would be a little excited over it for a few days, and then they'd realize that like, oh, this is not really like. It's not really turning this team from a non-contender into a contender. Like it's not a move that really is going to move the needle a whole lot in one direction. It helps, especially if it's in a series of other moves. Someone had said in the chat that if you package it with Bednar, you feed families. Marco said that, and I love that comment. Like absolutely.
Well, and I mean, is he an actual upgrade over Brandon Pfaadt? That's the big question. Like Brandon Pfaadt, we have no idea. Like you know exactly what you're going to get out of Rich Hill. You know exactly. There's no surprises there. He might have a bad outing here and there. He's not going to be spectacular, but he's gonna give you what his ERA is most of the time, right? There's something there about the idea that we still have no idea. We haven't even seen Brandon Pfaadt in his final form yet. He's not even close to that point yet. So I just feel like there's an idea here that we might be upgrading or wanting to upgrade to a guy that isn't really going to make this team better. And again, I mean, yeah, it's all jokes aside, like, is he actually going to be enough to get this team to the playoffs by trading for him? Even if it's prospects that aren't, like not a major move. Cost is going to be cheap. Jesse, what do you think that this kind of move could cost the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, we have a trade proposal idea here. This one's tough because it is hard to gauge what it would really take, simply because on paper, Rich Hill really shouldn't cost much of anything. With the money that he's due for the rest of the season, I believe it's around $2 million or so. I mean, that's probably about what his performance the rest of the year is going to be worth. So you really don't feel like you should have to give up much prospect capital to get him. With what we've seen so far in the market, though, the Angels paid pretty handsomely for Lucas Giolito, who's obviously a better pitcher. But the Dodgers, as we talked about earlier, I mean, they gave up legit prospects in a deal that got them Lance Lynn, who you could argue is worse than Rich Hill, and Joe Kelly, who's, a reliever with an ERA around 5. So I think if you're the D-backs, you'd have to be realistic and know this is going to cost you at least some sort of prospect capital. I have Dylan Ray here being the primary piece going to Pittsburgh, along with a left-handed pitcher, I believe is down in Hillsborough, and Spencer Geesting. So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty hard to gauge this. I think Dylan Ray, in my book, honestly feels like an overpay for half a season of Rich Hill. Dylan Ray was, taken in the first few rounds by the Diamondbacks just last year, and had a really good start the other day with Hillsborough. He's like trending upwards down there. So, I mean, you'd kind of cringe if it actually cost a guy like Dylan Ray to get Rich Hill for 2 months, but for being realistic, it wouldn't shock me if that's sort of where the asking price was.
It doesn't take much to get Dick, Jesse. It doesn't cost much, but